Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. Here we are again with our live on Monday night. Tonight, we're talking about expressing love and appreciation in a marriage, how vital it is for maintaining a strong and healthy connection. The key word is connection. Why have a marriage mate and we're not connected? Let's do our part. And since the majority, not all, but the majority of my audience are females, I said, let's do this. Last week we talked about connecting and having good communication within the family with the children and all that. Today we're going to zero in on the wives with the husbands, okay? We're going to talk about assertive communication, love languages, right? How to speak lovingly to your husband, your man, your lover, your partner, your person. Talk to your husband like he's someone that you love. And what is love? Love is respect, kindness, compassion, mercy, forgiveness, tolerance, to name a few. Somebody saying, yeah, tolerance, right? This is what marriage brings. You're bringing two imperfect people who have a whole lot of flaws and mistakes, two people coming from two different backgrounds, sometimes different cultures, different countries, sometimes. And different upbringings, and you're bringing them together into one home to form this bond. Of course, tolerance is going to be needed. That's why mercy and forgiveness is also needed. Okay. And we're going to talk about how sometimes as females, we think, look, being close to a man means we could be our best, our worst, not best, our worst selves. Look, he got to accept this. This is who I am. But we think about it just like we want him to be his best self around us. Leave the work at home. It's 9 o'clock, guys. I'm tired. Leave the work at the office. Leave his family's problems out there. And when he comes home, we want him fresh and good with us. We also want him to be clean and shaven and taking care of himself. We should be motivated to do the same. All right. My mouth is not doing what it's supposed to do tonight, but it's all right. We're gonna get through this. Okay. If this topic interests you, I invite you to stay, enjoy. It's gonna be juicy. That's my favorite word, juicy. It's gonna be good. Meanwhile, if you're new here, welcome. Make yourself comfortable. I'm glad to have you here. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Karen Marinez. I'm an emotional wellness coach, and I help the exhausted woman who struggles to feel comfortable in her own skin, suffers with low self-esteem, and so she overextends herself to please others. I help you to identify and process your emotions so you can find peace, passion, and purpose. Okay. I ask of you, good people, if you are new here, please subscribe. I'll give you a moment to do that. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. That helps get this message out to others. If there's someone that you think could benefit from this, right next to the like button, you share it. Send it to someone now so they can join now, or they can always see it when it always stays on YouTube. You can see it over and over again as well. But share with others so they can get in on the good conversation and the gems. It's going to be good. All right. So as you're coming in, please say hi. I see I have a nice group here. Let me say hey. We had oh, there was someone here earlier and she's gone. How did that happen? How does it go away? I don't know how that happens, but anyway, the person that was here earlier said, hey, and my dear Elvin, it's good to have you here. It's a hello, hello, Luz, one of our members. Tiffany, hey, Carolyn, hello. Itza says she's got front row for this topic. It's good stuff. Look, can anyone say they have a perfect marriage? That's impossible. We all have something to work on in our marriage. The point is, the better we take care of ourselves, the better we can pour into others. We pour into ourselves and then others benefit, right? We're going to talk about that as well. My audience, all our audience. Marion, hello. And we have our Nora. Hey, Nora, good to have you here. Welcome. Welcome. Please like also those who are here but not in the chat. Maybe you're watching it on your TV or you're like, I'm not getting in that chat. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. You're very welcome. I'm glad to have you a part of our group. All right. So one caveat we have to say for Nancy Luna. Oh my goodness. Hello, girlfriend. Good to see you. Very welcome. Okay. Our first caveat to say first is we are not talking about a man, and I want you to listen closely, that is abusive in any way. We are talking about a good man. Carla, hey, we even got our single folks here, and I appreciate that. We're talking about a good man, but with his flaws, just like everybody else. We're good. We're beautiful women. This group, gorgeous, amazing, capable, intelligent women. But we have flaws. We're imperfect. All right. So we're talking about that type of man. He's a good man, but it's like, oh, right. He has his flaws, but he's honest. He's loving. He tries to hold it down. Right. This is the type of man most of us have married. If you have a husband that is not like that, and, authorities have been involved, that type of thing, this is not for you to try to change him by becoming the perfect wife. No, that's a whole, that's an entirely different live for us to have. That's a one-on-one we need to have. Reach out to me and we'll talk. All right. But we're talking about that good man, and we just find it hard to connect with him, to speak to him. And the question is why? Here's another thing. Be very aware of this. When we talk about relationships with anyone else, it's a reflection of how we are with ourselves. I'm going to say it again. When we want to talk about our relationship, a friend, a parent, a husband, a cousin, whatever, whoever, the boss, our outside world reflects how we feel about ourselves. So sometimes it's like, this man doesn't appreciate me. He doesn't love me. The question is, do you appreciate and love yourself? Remember, I told you this was going to be juicy. Everything reflects back on us because the only person we can control is me, you, right? So we have to ask ourselves, do I know how to trust? Here's another one. Do I trust myself? I want him to trust me, but do I trust me? Am I afraid to be vulnerable? Do I keep everything inside? Am I like this because I don't want to let anyone in because I'm afraid to? There are reasons, right? So if you're a woman married to a good, decent man, this discussion is for you, but literally for you. Okay? And I want you to, we're looking in a mirror because this is always about us. Me, what am I doing? How am I contributing? Okay. Anna, hey. All right. So let's talk about several meaningful ways to communicate affection to our husbands. Affection. What a beautiful word. We can be married, but there not be love and affection in the marriage. There could be love, and it shows in, we attend to our mate, this, but is there that affection, that intimacy, that touch that means so much, that speaks volumes, that smile from across the room that means everything. That's the kind of love. That's the kind of marriage we're talking about. And if we have it, we can always get better. If we don't have it, we can always work at it. There's no lost cause, I promise you. And please don't give up on you, because remember, it's all about you. What am I willing to give to have this marriage be the best that it can be with our flaws? We're two imperfect people coming into this union, okay? So and Alejandro is speaking English. It's a pleasure to welcome you, Alejandro. Muy bien, hablando el inglés. Excelente. Okay. You see what we go through to make you guys feel at home. It's beautiful. So here are several meaningful ways to communicate affection to your husband. One, understand and speak his love language. We talked about the love language last week. If you have not heard of him, the author is Gary Chapman. And he talks about 5 love languages. He has a book. And if you type him into the search in YouTube, you'll find plenty of videos about it because it's really interesting. The 5 are words of affirmation, quality time, gift giving, acts of service, and physical touch. They can all enhance how you express love. But learning your husband's language allows you to tailor your affection or effectively. In my case, elements is, from last week, it is words of affirmation. I didn't grow up. It's very interesting. I grew up in a very loving and all my love me have my back. Don't let a teacher do something wrong to me, snarly to me. Um, she, she handled it. That's secure, protective, all things. Parents never saw you around. And even later in life, I didn't realize it though until my dad one day he was in the hospital and he was talking to my nephew, the only grandson he had, and he said, "Okay, I love you." That's when it dawned on me. I was like, "Wow!" And it wasn't like, "Well, you never say that to me." I was just like, he never said that to his granddaughters either. I said, "How come you say you love him to him? I love you to him." And he said, "Because he needs it the most. He was an only child. He was in another state." And it, again, because I was so sure of my parents' love, it never. So what happened to me? I'm in this marriage, and look at the irony. I marry a man who needs to hear, "I love you, I appreciate you." It usually happens, right? And that's just not my vibe. Now, oh, I say it all the time, even to my friends, love you, take care, love you, right? Cousins and all that. But back then, I didn't say it because I didn't grow up hearing it, even though I felt love and care. They were amazing parents with their flaws, of course, right? So I remember one day we were maybe months into the marriage, and Elvin is like, "Do you love me?" And I'm like, "Of course." He said, "Well, why don't you ever say it?" That was before I even heard that conversation with my dad and my nephew. And I was like, "I don't know. I didn't know why I didn't say it. Right? So anyway, I've learned that's important to him. That's my way of showing affection to him. Your husband may just need your undivided attention. My love language is quality time. Your husband may love receiving a gift on his pillow or in his a surprise in his pocket or right? Physical touch. He may, right? Find out what it is and do it more often. All right. And we're not looking at him and, well, he doesn't do it. Remember, we're looking in the mirror. It's all about us. What are we doing? How can we be affectionate, show love to our mate, right? So just stay focused. Stay focused. We're not victims here. We are grown women married to wonderful men, and we're looking to see how we can contribute to the love, the beautiful vibe in the relationship. The woman of the house controls the vibe, the tone of the home anyway, especially with our mates. Okay. So number one is understand and speak his love language, whichever of the five they are. We usually have, because mine is words of no, mine is quality time and then acts of service, physical touch. But that first one is quality time for me. What's the first one for your husband? And speak his love language as often as you can. It will make a difference. Okay. Number two, express appreciation verbally, right? So even if that's not his love language, who does not like to get acknowledgement for what they do? Acknowledge your husband's efforts and qualities will strengthen your bond. Simple phrases like, "Oh, I appreciate how you handle challenges," or "Your support means the world to me. Thank you so much." You stick his chest out a little, a little, right? It can have a profound impact. And he looks at you and you're not a competitor. You're not malicious. You're not this person that he shares the home with. You're his girl. You're his partner. You got his back. That speaks volumes. Number three, engage in acts of service, perform tasks that can ease his daily responsibilities. Maybe he does this, and this, and he's been extremely busy. Maybe do it or it's a chore that he doesn't like, or an errand. Help him. Do it from time to time. Out of your abundance, of course. Take care of yourself first, but out of your abundance, he'll appreciate it. Okay. And we're going to talk about that later. Again, we overextend ourselves sometimes because our goal is not necessarily what we think it is. Our goal is we want outside validation. We're going to talk about that a little later. Hang on. All right. How do we know that we're giving out of our abundance? It's coming. Okay. Number four, share quality time together. These are the love languages. Dedicate time to activities you both enjoy, free from distractions. Put those cell phones down, right? We all have the habit there, put them down. Put some music on. Let's cook together. What's our favorite show? Let's watch it together. Let's take a walk together. Oh, quality time fosters deeper connections. We want deep. We don't want surface with our husbands. But no, we need to do our part. Remember that we get no. Tonight we're talking about us. Okay. Number five, offer physical oh my goodness, affection. I was going to say attuction. Offer physical affection. Hold hands, hug, cuddle. That reinforces emotional bonds. It provides a sense of security and intimacy, even for a man. Sometimes we think it's just us that need these things as females, but men need it too. They're people. They may look rough and tough. They may be tall and rugged, but when they come home, they need that woman of the house to love on them. Okay. As I was doing research for this, I learned the word pebbling, and I was like, pebbling. So it says it's inspired by penguin courtship behaviors. It's the most cutest thing. It involves giving small, thoughtful gifts or gestures to show you're thinking about your partner, but they call it pebbling. It's so cute. It could be a favorite snack, a handwritten note, a shared meme, right? It reinforces your connection through meaningful tokens, little pebbles, boop, boop, boop. They aren't things of obvious amorous intent like a dozen red roses or love letters, the big stuff. It's the doo, doo. It's the little things that you can mutually experience, feel good about, learn from, or even talk about. And of course, just sharing anything won't necessarily lead to closer connection. Then the neighbor parked his car in a different spot today. That's talking, but that's not right. That doesn't lead to closer connection. So before sharing anything, think for a moment about how the other person may react, right? But let's try pebbling, little do, 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 do. Isn't that cute? I love that thought. All right. Number six is use alternative expressions of affection, like beyond saying I love you, express your feelings like you make my life so much better. I'm grateful for your presence, right? It can add depth to your communication. Again, we don't want to be surface with our mates. So incorporating these practices into our daily life can enhance our emotional connection. That's what we want. Emotional connection. We don't want to be living with a stranger. We want to foster a loving, supportive relationship with our husband. Okay? So to speak lovingly to your husband, express appreciation, use I statements, listen actively, choose your words carefully, and focus on positive and supportive communication. We're going to break that down in details. Number one, express appreciation and gratitude. 1A is acknowledge his efforts. Instead of taking things for granted, thank him for the things he does, big or small. Doesn't yeah, that's what he should be doing anyway. That's the least he can do. No, we want to appreciate and acknowledge his efforts. Focus on his strengths, highlight his positive qualities, acknowledge his contributions to the relationship and to the family, and be specific. Instead of saying, you're a good husband, try saying, I appreciate you taking out the garbage and doing the dishes last night or tonight. Be specific. Number two, I statements. Before I go on, Alejandro has put in the chat, I have a group chat called Emotional Wellness on WhatsApp. The link is it'll be in the description for those who see in this later, but it's in the chat box. Please join. You stay up to date with everything I'm up to. All right. Number two, use I statements. The first thing is express your feelings. So instead of blaming or accusing, you say I. For instance, you always forget to, you say, I feel hurt when I don't hear from you. You always forget to call me when you get to work. I want to know you're safe. I feel hurt when I don't hear from you. Another I'm sorry. So the first one was express appreciation and gratitude. I'm just looking at my notes. The second one was using I statements. And now the third one is listen attentively and empathetically. So pay attention when he's talking, make eye contact, nod, show that you're engaged in a conversation, look at him. We can be so busy doing other things because we want to be that efficient wife. So we're in the kitchen, we're cleaning, we're washing the dishes, we're doing laundry. And he would just like to spend some quality time. He's telling us about his job. We're like, oh, I'm not even interested in that. But listen, pay attention when he's talking. Ask clarifying questions. Make sure you understand his perspective and feelings. Like, wait, so you're saying when your boss said that, what did you think about that? Why you think he said that? Okay. Validate his feelings, even if you don't agree with his point of view. Acknowledge his emotions. Like, well, I could see where you're coming from. I could see why you would feel that way. And I wouldn't feel that way, but I could see how you would. Yeah, makes sense, right? Number four is choose your words carefully. Now, this is really important. Avoid negativity. Oof. We're doing an NLP course right now. It started on Saturday. We're up to challenge number 3 today. And a lot of the students are working on that negative inner dialogue. That I want to change it. I want to get out of this negative rut. I'm stuck in it. I don't like it. It's a cycle. So if we feel that about life in general, if we have our own negative inner dialogue, of course, what comes out of our mouth is from what's in our hearts and minds. So we can tend to be negative. So be mindful of the words you use. Try to express yourself in a positive and a constructive way. Instead of you're horrible, you're mean, you're no good, you'll never amount to anything. Oh my God, terrible words. But if those are the feelings that we harbor in our heart about our husband, it's going to come out. So we really have to be careful. What are we nurturing in here and here about our spouse? Because one heated exchange is gonna and you can't get it. You cannot take that back. Okay, and especially if you have a husband that has some type of illness, physical or depression or anything like that, the words that come out of our mouth stick, especially the negative ones stick, and they never leave because that adds to their inner negative dialogue. So be very, very careful and be mindful of your tone, ladies. You know how we can be. We can hit below the belt, rolling of the eyes. That's part of our tone, gestures, whatever, right? Your tone of voice can significantly impact how your words are received by him. No sarcasm. It's easy to spill out. I remember years ago there was well, I'll say it, The King of Queens, right? Hilarious sitcom. But I remember me and a friend saying, we got to watch ourselves because if we keep watching this, Carrie's mouth, she was extremely sarcastic. She made fun of his weight, all the things. And that's like bad association. And you could easily boop, just boop. And that does not build love and connection in a marriage. Okay, so we have to, again, this is about us. We have to watch ourselves. Number 5, show affection and intimacy. Physical touch, cuddling, holding hands, rub his back. Other forms of physical affection can strengthen your bond. Pillow talk. You want to talk to your husband? Lay on that man's chest and talk to him. Beautiful. Okay. It creates intimacy and connection, deep connection. That's what we want. Spend quality time together. Make the time for dates, hobbies, activities that you both enjoy. Sometimes you have to experiment because sometimes you're so different and you're like, I don't even know what we have in common. Well, figure it out by trying to do different things together. See, Miss Spiral says, guilty, laugh out loud. Carrie had to stop watching her. Yeah, she's got a mouth. Funny, but inappropriate, right? If you want to build a deep, wonderful relationship with your husband, if that's the goal, then that sarcasm is really not appropriate. And even if he's running an errand, you're home, you're not doing much, just putzing around the house. And he's like, oh, hon, I'm gonna go and da 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 da. Y'all haven't spent any time together. Go with him if you can. That time stolen away from your schedule to do the laundry or the dishes is worth it because you're enjoying each other's company. Some couples work, one works during the day, one works during the night. We could get so used to that, and we're ships passing in the night. There's no time. Everybody's doing their own thing. How can you develop a deep connection? I have a friend. She has a beautiful marriage, 40 something years. And when her husband, when they were kind of newly married, probably the first like 1 to 5 years, he started working for the trains. He drove the trains. She worked days, he worked nights. So what she would do would she'd get off from work, get on his train, ride with him. I don't know how long, I don't remember. This was years ago. And then she'd go home, but so that they could stay connected. And if you can't do that, then pick up that phone, text often, keep that connection going. But we have to prioritize ourselves and then our relationships, our marriage. And this is one I like. Be flirty and playful. Reignite that spark in your relationship by flirting, being playful with each other. Text them during the day, call them, say cute stuff, make him laugh, be playful, have fun, right? It's a wonderful thing. It's beautiful. Reignite that spark. Okay. And the two fundamentals required for communication effectively in the marriage, effective communication, are two things: a willingness to be honest and to speak lovingly to the other person. And being honest, again, you have to say, well, you might say, he's not honest with me, but are you honest with you? Are you aware of who you are, what you bring to the table, who, where you've come from? Or are you clueless? Are you honest with your imperfections, what you're deficient in? And sometimes that deficiency, what we claim as deficiency, oh, I come from a broken home or this and that, can hold us back from being vulnerable. I need to do a whole other live on vulnerability, and we will. But we have to be vulnerable. We have to be all in order to make this thing work. And not just work, but flow, deep connection, love, affection. Ooh, I just rhymed without even planning it. All right. And very, very important. This is, again, the mirror. Ask yourself this question. Could you write it down? Because I would like for you to meditate on it. Because right away you say, no, I do. But then you may realize, no, I don't. Do you value yourself enough that you feel you deserve to be happily married? Do you feel that you deserve to be happily married? Maybe our parents didn't have a happy marriage or a good one. And we feel like, ooh, I'm going to be disloyal to my mom because if I enjoy my meat, she's divorced and has always been unhappy. How could I be happy with my meat? That's not fair to her. That could be where it comes from. Or do we feel so bad about ourselves because of our low self-esteem that we feel we don't deserve a good and happy marriage? So we don't put our efforts into it. Have there been divorces amongst our friends, close family, and we feel bad to be happy? I'm happy, and they're not, kind of like that survivor's guilt. That's food for thought, something to think about. Look in the mirror, figure it out. Because you know what those feelings can lead us to do unconsciously. It's not on purpose. Unconsciously, we could sabotage a good marriage. What a shame that would be, because of course you deserve happiness. Of course you are in a happy marriage because you're doing the work. The others didn't do the work. Somebody didn't, right? And so give it your all. Don't sabotage, please. Any questions on that? Any thoughts about that? The lack of the feeling of being unworthy or the survivor's guilt. How dare I be happy when my mom, my aunt, all the women in my life, most of them are divorced. How dare I enjoy a good marriage? That would make them feel bad, and I feel bad making them feel bad. Can I get an amen in the chat? Okay. So you may say, well, how do I speak gently to a husband? I mean, aren't I supposed to speak rough to him? He's a man, he's tough, right? Men need to be spoken gently to. They're human, especially from their woman, their girl. Somebody said guilty with tears. Interesting, right? It's all food for thought. We're here not to judge each other, but to grow because everyone can apply something that we're going to talk about tonight in their daily lives. Okay. So say thank you. Say, honey, I really appreciate you doing this, right? Every time you say your spouse's name, it shouldn't be followed by something negative or demand. Do this. How am I? Oh, somebody, I got an amen. Somebody said yes with exclamation points. Yeah. Say your husband's name. Wait for him or her to pay attention. And I know the yes is not about that, but about what we talked about before. Think about his positive qualities throughout the day because, again, what you feed and nourish in your mind will come out by your words, your body language, your action, the rolling of the eyes, all that stuff. But if we want to be gentle with our husbands and speak gently to them, give them compliments, we have to nurture, focus on their good. They all have good. Again, we're talking about good men. All right. Here's some cute little love messages. Y'all might gag afterwards. Karen. But you could write to him, stealing your heart was the perfect crime. Isn't that cute? Again, flirty, cutesy, playful. Here's another one. Being with you is my favorite feeling. Okay. You make my heart smile. Did you know I have the best partner ever, the best husband ever? I never believed the words in love songs until I met you. Now you might be like, Karen, please, that's so sappy. I'm gagging. But be silly. Enjoy your husband. It's your husband. Light your candles. Be romantic. Grab that man, put some music on, dance in the living room. Have fun. Add spice. Well, he should be doing that. But you can do it. So do it. You're not a victim. Um, Tiff said it's so easy to take them for granted. It is. And look, we don't like it when they take us for granted, but they're the same. We shouldn't take them for granted either. We have to be honest, right? And they're wonderful. Nancy, thanks for being a member. She says, great information. Just from listening, I appreciate my husband more. I appreciate him. But from what I see, I have things to work on. Thank you. You are very welcome. And we all do. Thank you for being vulnerable and honest. We all can do better. And you may say, but I want him to light the candles. I want him to make the plans. Do you do it? Because it's important to you. He doesn't care about candles and ambiance. He'll appreciate it. He'll appreciate it. But when you light those candles, it's really for you. Most men could truly care less. But if you do it, guess what it does? It makes you happier, you softer, you more playful and giddy. And then that puts him in a good spot, a good mood, and he reciprocates. And you give and you get. Again, we're talking about a good man because if he doesn't deserve it, he doesn't deserve it if he's not acting right, right? We're not talking about abuse. We're talking about that love back and forth. It's so big. And when a good man sees his wife happy, that's the best gift ever. And why are you happy? Because you're taking care of yourself. And then what he gives you is all extra. It just adds to your abundance. But you don't need him to fill you because you fill you. Okay. So communicate assertively and lovingly with your husband. How do you do that? Be direct and honest about your needs and feelings. Again, using the I statements. Actively listen to his perspective, maintain respectful communication, even when you're disagreeing with him. So here's a breakdown of how to achieve this. Use the I statements, right? We talked about it a little bit before. I feel, I need. Not you always. You're not romantic. You never take me out. Hun, I want to add some spice to our lives. I need that. Our routine is alive. It's so routine. It's driving me crazy. You know what I would like? To make plans for us to try this new restaurant that I saw. Let's go away for the weekend. Can we plan that? Let's make plans to invite so and so over or go bowling with so and so or you and me. Can we have a date night? Right? And if he says, yeah, yeah, and then now you're expecting him to plan it. Don't expect him to plan it if he's not a planner. If this isn't on his to-do list, this isn't important to him, don't expect him to do it. You do it because this is a part of you pouring into yourself. But he should know you're the one who wants it. Take responsibility for you. Do it yourself. And invite him, of course. You'll have a great time. If he's a pleasant person and you enjoy his company, you'll have a good time. And happy wife, happy life, right? But it's all about you creating your own happiness. Be responsible for your own happiness and bring him into that. That's all. And if you're blessed with a man who's like, "Ooh, I got a surprise for you this weekend, girl," live it up. It's not often, right? But if it does exist, be grateful for that. Not, oh, he took me to this place and I didn't even like it. Can we just be happy? Can we be grateful? The man tried. Can we just make the best out of it? Right? Who yeah, we have a lot of work to do on ourselves. It's just a drop the mic, Karen. Yeah. Let's do it, girls. We deserve to design our lives. In NLP, we talk about the map, our life. How am I bettering, decorating my map? How am I designing my life? I want a happy marriage. I'm doing the work. That's it. Clean conscience. I can't predict what the other person is going to do, but I know I gave my all in that marriage. I loved on that man, but I loved on myself first. It really is so interesting. Every relationship is better when we take care of ourselves first and prioritize ourselves. All right. So another thing is active listening. Pay attention to that man when he's talking. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't interrupt. Show genuine interest in his thoughts and feelings. Make eye contact. Get up in there. Nod. Paraphrase what he saw. You're saying that da 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 to make sure that you understand. He's like, no, I was saying, oh, okay. Respectful communication. Even when disagreeing, keep a respectful tone. Avoid name calling or belittling remarks. Focus on finding common ground and solutions that work for both of you. You got to talk about stuff, even the hard things. But it's worth it. It's not pleasant while it's happening, but when you get to an agreement or you even agree to disagree, it's all good stuff. Clear and direct communication. Here we go. You ready? We can be uh um well, what do you think about, you know, uh our neighbor, she said that her husband took her on vacation and they had a really good time. And he's like, oh, good for them. But what are you trying to say? Nation, right? So be clear and concise in your communication. Don't beat around the bush. None of these hidden messages. Don't do that. You want your needs, your feelings understood accurately, right? So it's called assertive communication. Say what you mean, girl. Say it. And don't say what you don't mean, expecting him to read your mind, figure it out. It's too much work. Elvin, can you check on mom? I hear her woo in the back. I don't know what's going on. All right. Maybe she wants I put the little thing, maybe she wants the lights out. Can you just put them out for me, please? She's like, girl, I want to go to sleep. Okay. So we don't want him to, we don't expect him to read our minds. That's too much work. If you are an adult, here you are again, you're not a victim, no, you are a grown woman. Speak and say very clearly what you want. And you don't, without disrespect, without sarcasm, but assertive communication. Say what you need and what you want. All right. and work to let go of the fear to be vulnerable, fear to be rejected, fear of being judged. A lot of times that's why we hold back. I don't want him to know this. I made a mistake. And if I tell him that, he's going to. This is your partner in life. Try. If he's a good man, he'll be willing to listen and work with you. If you speak respectfully, right? He would probably appreciate it. Because to lay next to someone every night and not know what's really going on in their heart and mind, mm, what is that? And why do we settle for that? Why do we choose that by our actions? No, no. And this is very important. I want you to listen to this. You may say, I've talked to people and women, and they're like, well, I don't talk to him about stuff because, um, he doesn't understand when I say things to him. I tried at one time to open up to him and he ignored, or I expressed what I wanted and he didn't do it. And so I can't go there with him. Okay. So what is the purpose of our asserting ourselves with what is the purpose of communication? In this case with our husbands, but in any relationship, the purpose is not for him to do anything. I'm gonna say that again. But that's what no. The purpose of you talking to your husband, your man, your partner, expressing yourself, sometimes your deepest, innermost thoughts and fears, is not for him to understand you completely, not for him to act on what you're saying, your request. The purpose of you communicating is for you to communicate your feelings, thoughts, and opinions to him. Because once you do, that's a weight off of you. This is all about you. Who wants the loving affection? We're talking to you, right? Who wants to be able to communicate? You do. What am I doing? I'm giving him information about me. What he does with that information is his business. I told you this was going to be juicy. It's his business. I, I say to Elvin, "Ooh," first I go around. Uh, uh, so and so got roses from her husband the other day. He's like, "Oh, nice." Just say it, Elvin. I would love for you to bring me roses. It's been a while. I would really appreciate it. You want to see me happy? Bring me some roses. Now, what he does with that is his business. If a month passes and he didn't get the roses, guess what Karen Marinez is going to do? I'm going to get my own roses. I don't need him to get me roses to feel I love myself. If he does that, good for him. He'll get more loving, more happiness, right? But if he doesn't, that's his business. But he can't ever say, I didn't know you wanted me to buy you roses. Baby, I've told you several times, right? Your work is to give the information. What he does with it is his business. Your work is to give your best in the relationship. I lay down on the pillow. I know I gave my best today in my relationship. We each have to be responsible for our own actions. Do your part. What do you think about that? I'd love to hear your comments. How do you think we do as women in that regard as far as assertive communication? I'm going to give you a few moments. I want to hear. Let me drink some of my water. This is good stuff. Anybody have a comment? I'll wait patiently. If not, I'll keep going. Okay. You're probably typing. I'll get it when it comes through. The other type of communication is nonverbal communication. Pay attention to your body language. What are you conveying without saying a word? Do you maintain eye contact? Do you stand with an open posture or do you cross your arms, primp your lips, roll your eyes? Right? That can signal defensiveness. I'm on the defensive because we're at it. Or you stand face to face with a man. He's not seeing a loving wife, sweet, cute, playful, loving. He's seeing, oh, this is a combat, this is war. And we definitely don't want that. All right, we got a comment. Excellent point. Know about when you're feeling not well. Oh, say that time of the month. Yes, darling. Mark the calendar. Look, hun, you know there's pre, there's post, all the things. Oh, look, I'm menopausal. Let's be open. Tell the man so he doesn't know. He when you snap back, he's like, ooh, ooh, wait, what's the date today, right? Talk about it. It's okay. I'm not really feeling too good. Look, oh, I snapped at you. I'm so sorry. It's because this, and this, right? Someone else says sometimes the communication doesn't come out right, but I like that being about being direct. They can't read our minds, even if married for a number of years, right? Like, look, we've been together 20 something years. You don't know that yet? Tell him. All right. Debbie, good to have you. You're here. You made it. That's all that matters. Miss Spiral says clear and direct, so much better. Yeah, and without the attitude, right? Kind and loving, but clear and direct. You can do both. They go hand in hand. Someone else says definitely struggle in that area. I can do better and be more assertive. For some reason, I want to be my yeah, and that is so unfair. Would you want him to? And as females, that's a wonderful quality that we have. We can be, it's not just black and white, but we can be very observant and we study that man. And he walks through that door and we know from his face after some time with him, it's not good. He's hungry, this, that, who aggravated you, whatever the thing, right? But men do not tend to, it's not black, but they do not tend to study us as well. We have to be communicative. And even in our nonverbal, we can communicate things that, start war. Now, here's something that I really had to work on when I started doing this emotional work, setting boundaries, because it seems like Karen is just saying, oh, Lucid, tell him love that. My Karen is here. I'm Karen with a K, she's Karen with a C. She says, Amen. I always sleep better knowing I did my best. The reality is, my God's relationship is more important, which causes me to really try my best. Sorry, I didn't say hi earlier. I was driving home. No problem. I'm glad you got home safe. I'm glad you're here. And thank you for commenting. Yeah, it's because it's about me. It's about you, right? We are the protagonist in our story. We're not victims. Oh, he doesn't. And no, and he doesn't read my mind. Poor baby. Don't ask him to read your mind. He can't. He can't. Tell the man, use your mouth, use your voice. Okay. However, all of this makes it seem like Coach Karen is saying, just give it all to him. Just, oh. And they do say in Spanish, entrégate, like just give it. Set boundaries. Okay. When I got married, I had no idea my worth, my value as a woman and as an individual. And had ve- I would I would almost say I had no boundaries, but I know I had some, right? But I had very little. I was very unhealthy emotionally. And of course, with this emotional wellness journey, I've learned, girl, you better get yourself together. You better talk to that man. You better speak up, say what you want. You bring a lot into this marriage. Do your thing, girl. Make it work. Do your part, right? And because I didn't know my worth, I did a lot of things extra, jumping through hoops, looking for my husband's approval. I wanted to prove that I was worthy, right? But now that I know I'm worthy, now that I know my worth, my value, I give what I can and purely out of my abundance. Only out of my abundance. It is very freeing. And so what does that require? That I say no respectfully and assertively when I need to. Elvin asked me to do something. I can't, I don't want to, or I don't have the energy for it. I'm sorry, but I can't. It's important to protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. What's the purpose of giving something that I don't have? And now I'm up. Now I'm really, I was on zero. Now I'm negative, and now I'm negative 10 because I did something that he asked of me, and now I'm upset for the rest of the week. I'm snapping. I have an attitude. And he's like, what? Because if he asked me and I said yes, to a man, that means you can, you want to, you will. Learn to say no respectfully and assertively, please. That causes a lot of ugh. Empathy and understanding. Try to understand your husband's perspective and his emotions, even if you don't agree with him. You don't have to agree on everything. We're not compatible. Why? Because you don't agree on everything? That's not, we can't expect that in any relationship. And when you are like that and you work together and you're empathetic and understanding, there again, emotional connection, understand him. Ask him questions about his childhood and past. Why does that bother you? When so and so said that, you got really irritated. Can you explain to me why? Hun, I was talking to so and so and she said this and I felt this. What's your point of view on that? Get from his background, get another lens. I love talking to Elvin about it. He's probably like, yes, she does. Because I talk a lot. But I love getting his perspective. Sometimes I'm really worked up about something. I'm anxious. I'm scared. I'm angry about something. And I talk to him and then he gives me his perspective because he's, especially like if something with family, he's on the outside looking in. And it's like, oh yeah. Or sometimes he agrees with me, right? He's like, well, and sometimes he doesn't. He's like, well, think about it from this standpoint. And I appreciate that. Take advantage that you have this person to bounce things off on. When I talk to single people, single women, that's the thing they long for the most. That they wish they had someone to bounce off of making, especially big decisions, important decisions. They have to do it all on their own. And it's hard. And here you have this man here. Talk to him about your plans, your goals, your wishes, your desires, your inspirations, your passions, your dreams. Share with him. Share with him. Be vulnerable and seek solutions together. When you have disagreements, you will have disagreements. It's inevitable. It doesn't mean you have a bad marriage because you disagree. What you do with those disagreements, now, if you're carrying on, that's a problem. But if you disagree, work to find solutions together that meet both of your needs. I, we have some money. We want to buy a couch. I want to buy a couch. Elvin wants to buy a car. Okay, we can't do them both together at the same time. But which is more important? Which is more necessary? Is the car like breaking down every other day? Or is the furniture, the sofa, like you sit on it and it plunks down? Because we can both get what we want, just not at the same time. So whichever is the more needed, get that. And it's not like you lost a fight or no. Then later you'll save up and get the other item, right? You can work it out. And when you seek solutions together, that means we're on the same team. It shows respect. It strengthens your bond. Not viewing it as a problem. Oh, we always have these problems. It's a challenge for the two of you, not for just one to resolve, the two of you. And how do you get the two involved? You have to talk. Because if you just hold it in, and he may think everything's, oh, he sees you with an attitude, but he has no reason why, because you never see, he's like, oh, she's always like that. And he doesn't even bother. uh, People say, we're not compatible. I'm just going to accept that I'm going to be miserable. I made a bad decision. And this is where I am. These are the consequences. No, you deserve happiness. Work at it. These conversations will be uncomfortable at the moment, but at the end, you'll draw closer, right? Even with money, work on a budget together. If you have your money together, great, in the same account and y'all work through it like some people have separate accounts. That's a personal decision, but each should know what's going on with the money, the bills, how this is getting paid, that we have a goal. I want to pay off this credit card. We're paying off less. Okay, where are we? Let's make a chart. Let's keep it right. There's usually a budgeter and then there's a spender in a relationship. But you gotta work together. Okay, some people do weekly meetings about money. Let's talk about it. What's going on? What's coming in? What's going out? Teamwork is so beautiful. And please know secrets do not work. They damage every relationship. So please stop keeping secrets from your husband. Express appreciation. Be patient and persistent with yourself and your partner, and continue practicing these skills regularly. Please do not give up. Your marriage is worth it. You're worth it. You deserve happiness. Oh my goodness, definitely. And by putting these things into practice, you can definitely have it. But the question is, do you feel you deserve it? That might be something that you want to work on. If you want coaching, I'm here. You know how to reach me. You can DM me on IG. You can email me at karenmcoach@gmail.com. You can, if you're in the chat, you could say, can I reach out? You can reach out to me privately. I'm here to help and work with you so that you can know your worth, your value, and you can be your best self in your marriage and bring out the best in your husband, your dear, beautiful husband. All right. This was good, guys, girls, guys, whoever's here. It's juicy. Okay. I encourage you to watch it again and watch it with your mate, and y'all can talk about it. You may say, I don't want him to see this. Let him see it. Ask him, where do you think I could do? Again, we're talking about a husband who's not narcissistic. He doesn't wake up looking to see how he can bring you down. He's a good man. He's honest. He loves you. We can have these discussions with those type of men because we want to get better. What's your love language, babe? Well, tell me, right? And surprise them, have fun, enjoy your life, enjoy you, learn you, enjoy your life, and enjoy your marriage with your hubby. All right. Thanks so much for the chats. Y'all did really good. Great conversation, good stuff. Love you much. Y'all be well. Okay, big hugs. And we'll talk soon. Bye now. Have you ever wondered why some people express their ideas clearly, connect deeply with others, and feel confident when they speak, while others struggle with fear, insecurity, or misunderstandings? The difference is their communication skills. And the best part, you can master them too with the right tools. Introducing Assertive Communication with NLP, a 30-day program designed to completely transform the way you speak to yourself and to others. Through 30 practical challenges, live classes, real-time therapy sessions, and expert guidance, you will break through the mental blocks that prevent you from speaking with confidence, improve your inner dialogue, and reprogram your mindset for success. Apply neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, techniques to communicate effectively in any situation. Learn to set boundaries without fear of rejection or guilt. Develop persuasive and influential communication skills for personal and professional success. Master the art of active listening to build deeper connections. Overcome the fear of public speaking and express yourself with ease. Gain emotional intelligence to handle difficult conversations with confidence and calm. NLP empowers you to reprogram your mind for clear, persuasive, and impactful communication. Because when you change how you talk to yourself, you also change how you speak to others and the world. And the best part, the time to start is now. Today is the day to take action, transform your inner voice, and unlock your full potential. Sign up now and take the first step toward assertive and powerful communication. Your transformation starts today. Are you ready?